And the other thing is competitors buy competitors every day, right? So
Yeah.
the other way to look at this is another reason why you want to form these strategic alliance partnerships is, your partner is going to help you scale, and
Yes.
and so they're seeing you scale because they're helping you scale, and so more than likely what's going to happen is they're not looking at you as a competitor, they're looking at you as a potential acquisition candidate.
Hmm.
So at some point down the line, if you've been successful, you've scaled, you've done great work with them, and you've built a relationship with them, they're going to be approaching you to purchase your company. You
It's
know,
inevitable.
and even if so, now you've got two scenarios. You could sell your company to them and retire if you wanted to do that, but the easiest thing to do is sell your company to them, rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah.
You can start another company doing exactly what you just stopped doing because now
Yeah.
it's going to be infinitely easier to scale the next company in the same
Exactly.
vertical that you just left because now you have money. So you don't
Hmm.
have to raise money now, which means actually, and this is the crazy thing about money, it's going to be easier to raise money because you
Yes,
don't
it
need,
is.
right? Because people have seen what you built before. They saw
Hmm.
your success. So then now you're not an unknown commodity. You're a known quantity. They're going to want to invest. So investors are going to approach you now to invest in this next business. But you've also, in scaling that last business, you've built strategic alliance partnerships with all these different organizations. You have an ex customer base. You
Now you
have,
have a
you
network.
know, people that have worked with you, advised you, mentored you, all, so on and so forth. You have all these relationships. All of these people are going to come with you to the next opportunity. Because now, as I said, now you're a known quantity. It's like,
Yeah.
well, if Jeff could succeed doing that last one, what could he do with this one with more resources, right?
Exactly.
Would not want to be a part of this. I want to be an investor in it. I want to be an employee in it. I want to be a co-partner in it. I want to be
Hmm.
in it. Everybody wants to be in it in some way, shape, or form. So it's much easier to do what you just left and did successfully the second, third, fourth time around. You know, um,
Absolutely, absolutely. Each iteration in its own way becomes easier
yeah,
because you've seen it before, you've done it before. This is again where I go back to book learned and AI learned
yeah,
is
yeah,
different than life experience because in
yeah.
life experience, you can say, I've done this, I've accomplished this, these are the things that I was able to do. It's not conceptual, it's
Right.
something that you've actually done.
Yeah,
And that's when you find people willing to be able to participate. They're actually clamoring to be able to partner with you as
yeah,
opposed to you chasing people down the same way. So, yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that is really important for people to understand because sometimes, especially with myself, I get those emails where people say, "Oh, well, it'll be the acquisition emails." And my
yeah,
thing is, I don't know you. And the
yeah.
fact that you're calling me and asking me whether you can acquire what it is that I've built, I'm not at the stage of feeling like I want to be able to hand that off.
Right.
But I also know that it's a good sign for me if people are noticing enough to be able to say that because it's not always revenue based. It's I see what it is that you're doing. I see where you're making moves and who you would be able to address and what kind of problems you're solving. Sometimes take that as a sign that you're doing the right thing, you're on the right track.
Yeah,
And that is one of those telltale signs that let you know to either keep going or like in some other cases, start thinking about your exit strategy.
yeah,
Another thing, option in what you said is sometimes you can be acquired and so much of what the way that I try to describe the different pathways, there's employees, there are some people that don't like the idea of being an entrepreneur because there's so much accountability and risk to it.
yeah.
But that's a way of being able to have that world without necessarily having the same accountability and risk. If you're acquired and you're still doing the same job,
Right.
it's just you don't have the same level of responsibility for if something goes wrong
Yeah,
because now you have them that can kind of take the brunt of it.
yeah,
Then you might decide like I would say I'd never want to be an employee again, but if I was going to allow somebody to acquire anything that I built, that would be a consideration of
right.
I can just continue doing the same thing that I'm doing,
Yeah,
not have the same level of responsibility, and still make, if not the same amount, but more, because then there's equity, there's all these other things that can kick in with it.
yeah, yeah,
Or you can do what, a lot of, I will say us, because I know how many different businesses I've had over the years.
yeah,
And it's once you figured out that you can do something once, That's
Right.
when the serial entrepreneur kicks in for the people that have that entrepreneurial gene, because then you're like, you know what, there's nothing I can't do.
Yeah.
And if I get rid of this company, I can create 5 more,
Right.
and each one will be a better version of
Yeah.
whatever it was that I had before. So
Right.
this is for all the different people at the different stages. I just want to make sure that they understand there's so many different options.
Yeah.
And it's really just about paying attention to how to leverage and what levers to pull to be able to cover different things. Okay, so how should someone think about money if their goal isn't growth at all costs, but sustainability and control? I feel like you've kind of answered that question in the sense of there are some people that are looking just to be able to generate as much money as possible. And then there are some people that just want to be able to have a certain level of sustainability and autonomy to be able to say, this is who I want to work with. This is who I don't want to work with, and things like that. You've described what part of that looks like. Is there anything that you want to add to it to be able to provide more context?
No, I mean, I just at the end of the day, I mean, so when you start this entrepreneurial journey, it's really, I mean, if you wanted to, you want to have the highest probability of doing it successfully, it's all about discovering who you are and what you want, right? So,
Mm,
starting that process in terms of, money, what does money mean to you, and
yeah.
what do you want to build, right? Do you want to, are you comfortable building a lifestyle business that allows you to live the way you
Hmm.
want to live and, not much else. There's nothing wrong with that. Do
Right.
you want to, create the next Fortune 500 company? There's nothing wrong with that either. But either way, now you can, now you're going to transition to the planning process. You can start to plan, how do I build that? Whatever that is for me, whether it's that lifestyle business or that Fortune 500 business or something in between, you know, and and who do I need to surround myself with, whether it be advisors, strategic alliance partnerships, whatever the case may be, to give myself the highest probability of pulling off this dream. So there's a step by step process that you should
Mm.
go through. Um, it's always easier to do it before you launch. Get all this done before, because once you turn the lights on and open the door
Once
up,
you're out there, you're out there. Yeah.
hey, it's this stuff is going to come at you fast and furious, and there isn't going to be a lot of time to make decisions, right? You're going to have to make
No,
them in split seconds. So
no.
get all that planning done before you open up the door, and as I said, just try to figure out who you are, what's going to make you happy, and that will dictate how you look at money and how you pursue money.